In today's video, I'm going to be going over whether the military diet can really help you lose 10 pounds in 3 days. Keep watching till the end to find out. So, the military diet, it's a very, very aggressive, very low calorie diet. It's only 3 days long, and losing 10 pounds in 3 days, that's very appealing. So I can see why a lot of people are giving it a try, but to be honest with you, I would not recommend it, although it actually does work in that 3-day time period. So what the military diet is, I've done a lot of research on it because the last time I actually saw what this diet looked like, I was a teenager. I had actually tried this diet myself when I was 14 years old, young and naive. So immediately it's appealing because you also get a scoop of ice cream every evening after dinner, right? Which you might think a diet with ice cream in it, but the actual meals themselves are really, really sad, really boring. I'll like pop up an infographic with like just photos of the foods that you're meant to have. I've plugged this diet into myfitnesspal just to sort of see like where the calories were at. Day 1 is 818 calories. Day 2 is a generous 1013 calories. And then on day 3, you get 908 calories. The total protein content is quite low, so I can imagine you'd be very, very hungry on this diet. There's not much fiber in it either. The meals are very small and not very filling. It's a massive calorie deficit for anyone, unless you're like a starving toddler. Like, this is very, very low calorie. The amount of carbs you're consuming per day is also very low. So why does this diet work? There's nothing special about the actual foods in this diet. Obviously, you've got a massive calorie deficit over 3 days, which maybe like a couple of the pounds out of those 10 pounds you are losing are fat. But the other 8 pounds, I hate to say it, but it's water weight. It's the difference between losing weight and losing fat. And the thing is, when it comes to the military diet or any other very low carb diet, when you cut your carbs really drastically, you drop tons of water weight. Why? Well, if you look at the word carbohydrate, right, that hydrate portion is because carbs hold on to water in our body, and they're also stored as glycogen in our muscles, which is good. If you're training hard, if you're an athlete, if you go to the gym, like, you need glycogen in your muscles to actually be able to perform. It's a good thing. Per gram of carbohydrate, your body stores about 3 grams of water. So if you can imagine, you're cutting out carbs very drastically from one day to the next. It's a lot of water weight that you're flushing out, which is why you can expect like these crazy claims of 10 pounds in 3 days, right? Now, the problem with this diet is not only is it unsustainable, it's also just very unhealthy. You're not getting enough vitamins and nutrients on this diet, to be completely honest with you. And a lot of the psychopaths amongst you might be thinking, okay, what if I just do this diet like longer than 3 days and lose more than 10 pounds? You will literally not be able to. The cravings get so bad that it really does increase the likelihood of you binge eating afterwards. And even if you don't binge eat, if you just go back to your normal diet afterwards, you'll just put all the water weight back on and probably the fat back on as well, because you will not be in a deficit anymore. So this diet gets a 0 out of 10. You're gonna be miserable, low energy, and it can actually lead to disordered eating. I know that it did for me when I was a teenager, and I'm really, really sad to see that like on YouTube, tons of other girls are promoting this. Like, if you just like look it up on YouTube, like military diet review results, like you'll find tons of videos of girls saying, oh my gosh, I did this diet, I lost this amount of weight, and then kind of like vlogging it day to day. So yeah, it is very, very sad. And what's also sad is the claims that are made about like certain foods in this diet, namely the grapefruit, that it's meant to increase your metabolism, which, spoiler alert, there are no foods on this planet that increase your metabolism, right? So I'm not a big fan. Obviously, if you want to increase your metabolism, what you can do over the course of plenty of years is increase your muscle mass. Like, the more muscle you have on your frame, the more calories you're going to be burning at rest. So muscle's more metabolically active than fat. So if you increase your metabolism, ditch the grapefruit, ditch the apple cider vinegar, the lemon water, that's all bullshit. You just want to make sure that you are lifting weights and increasing your muscle mass. And if you want like a faster way of increasing your metabolic rate, you can just do more steps. Adding like 3,000 to 5,000 steps per day to your current step average, you'll be burning more calories. To conclude really on this video is, don't do this diet. I would not recommend any diet, but I do want to leave you with some practical tips that you can actually use if you want to successfully lose weight in the long term. I wouldn't recommend losing 10 pounds in 3 days. the amount of weight you lose is going to be depending on like how much your starting weight is. I like to go off of like 1% per week, right? For females, it's a very healthy amount of weight to lose on average. So if you're like a 150-pound female, expecting to lose 1.5 pounds per week consistently is actually really, really good. It doesn't sound as sexy as 10 pounds in 3 days, but if you do that for like the next 10 to 12 weeks, you'd be like 12 to 15 pounds down. And hey, I think that's a win if you're able to stick to something that's sustainable for, that long. And this is something that we help all of our clients do at Limitless Coaching as well. Put a bunch of photos on the screen of what transformations we've been able to achieve. These girls are eating carbs every day. They're eating their favorite foods every day. They're having dessert. They're going out with friends for food, going out for drinks. So if you're looking for a more sustainable approach, I want you to start learning how to track your calories, okay? And I'm going to put a guide in the description box below on how to use MyFitnessPal to track your calories, okay? I also want you to take your ideal weight in pounds and eat 1 gram per pound of that ideal weight. So if you're 150 now, but you ideally want to be 120, eat 120 grams of protein per day that you can also track using MyFitnessPal. And lastly, follow the 80-20 rule. This is really important to make sure that not only your cravings are being satisfied, but also you feel full and satiated and not hungry. So we want 80% of our calories to come from whole, natural, unprocessed foods. They're just a lot more filling and good for you. But then allow 20% of your calories to come from the ice cream, the chips, the cookies, the dessert, the fun foods, okay? Those are my top 3 tips for successful and sustainable fat loss. If you want a more personalized approach, I'm going to leave a link to our waitlist down below so you can apply to work with us. And if your application is accepted, I'll be reaching out to you the next steps. But that's everything for today, guys. Please don't do this diet. Please do something more sustainable that's healthier for you. Drop a comment down below if you've ever tried this diet, what your experience was like, if you've tried other diets. If you have any other questions or video recommendations as well, you can leave those down below. Don't forget to obviously like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!